sponsors get behind FIBA Melanesian Cup. ABLE reinforces government's commitment to 100-day plan. And 2017 PNG Investment Conference begins in Sydney.
This is the National EMTV News with Meribah Tulo.
A very good evening. Thank you for joining us for Thursday's news. Preparations are underway for Papua New Guinea to host the Melanesian Basketball Cup, and efforts to ensure PNG hosts a successful event are being realized through sponsorship. Today, Paradise Beverages cemented their commitment as gold sponsor with a whopping 270,000 kina. EMTV is the official broadcaster of the 4-day tournament, which will start on the 27th of this month.
The Melanesian Basketball Championship will see Papua New Guinea's neighboring island countries, Fiji, New Caledonia and Solomon Islands, participate in a 4-day tournament from the 27th to the 30th of this month.
4 exhilarating days. The atmosphere in here, those that were here for the Pacific Games in 2015 know how loud it can get. And, we're looking forward to duplicating that similar crowd noise, especially when our PNG men's and women's teams are out here dominating those other countries that are going to be involved.
The tournament of this magnitude puts a strain on the event organizers to best coordinate, facilitate and of course the financial difficulties. However, PNG Basketball Federation was fortunate to secure a major sponsorship package of 270,000 kina courtesy of Paradise Beverages.
Provide the sponsorship to Basketball Papua New Guinea and to be involved in such a tournament as this one. It's certainly going to be very exciting, and the fact too that it's both the male and female tournament, so it provides something for everyone. I know basketball is a really exciting game to watch.
The trophy for the Melanesian Cup Championship was unveiled today. The marking on the trophies bearing unique design and flags of the participating nations.
For the very first time, our FIBA Melanesian Basketball Cups for both men and women. These trophies are perpetual trophies, so they'll be the trophies that are associated with this tournament for many years to come.
For the wider coverage of the tournament, EMTV is the official partner and broadcaster.
We're not just broadcasting in PNG, we're also broadcasting with our partners in the Solomon Islands and in Fiji. And there's also discussions with New Caledonia and other parts of Asia as well. So it's not just going to be a PNG event, it's going to be an international event. So it's going to be live throughout the tournament.
The event adds to PNG's record of successfully hosting international tournaments and EMTV as the broadcaster. Shane Saroya, National EMTV News.
Deputy Prime Minister Charles Abel says the government is serious about implementing its 100-day plan of action. Minister Abel says cross-cutting measures, including decreasing import levels and better taxation structures, are some options the government will take. Mr. Abel mentioned these during a radio talkback show this morning in Port Moresby.
A month after officially announcing the government's 100-day plan to embrace the economic status of the country, the Deputy Prime Minister and Treasury Minister reiterated the O'Neill Abel government's effort to achieve the desired goals. He says the plan is a short-measure approach to help all sectors.
Again, this 100-day plan, this 25 points, is not meant to solve the world. It's not meant to solve the problems of the world. It's just trying to initiate some of what we call the low-hanging fruits to get the place moving and to start to adjust structurally. These are all
Speaking on NBC Talkback, Minister Abel said the 25 key points were a collective measure to be driven by all state agencies. He says among the efforts is a cutback on imports.
We have a situation, vast resources, natural resources are going offshore, and we continue to import processed resources. There's a fundamental underlying imbalance there is one. Two is the over-reliance on the mineral and petroleum extractive industry over the years.
Another option the Treasury Minister talked about is the current taxation structure used in the country. Mr. Abel said a simpler taxation framework is needed.
And so there's some issues that we need to look at in terms of our fiscal regime, that is our taxation system. And there are some issues related to the general structure of our economy that we continue to rely so heavily on imports. We need to move towards self-reliance.
The former planning minister said the O'Neill Abel-led government is doing its best to improve services, despite criticisms of poor leadership and mismanagement of the economy.
If we don't want to be criticized, we won't say anything and we won't do anything. But we can't do that. We are leaders. We must get out there and say, this is the plan, we have an objective, we're trying to achieve it, we're setting timelines, we're serious.
Yeah.
Jack Lapava, Junior, National EMTV News.
President of the Road Transport Association, Jacob Luke, says they will begin transporting goods into the highlands tomorrow, despite a roadblock in Simbu. Luke, who is also the owner of Mapai Transport, has called on other transport companies to join a convoy expected to depart early tomorrow morning for Hagen. The roadblock was set up by relatives of one of the policemen killed in Enga during the elections.
At least for Mapai and Trisa, two of the biggest trucking companies in Lae, the plan is to gather here at the Mapai yard opposite the Angau Hospital early tomorrow morning and begin transporting cargo to the highlands. After a 10-day blockade by relatives of one of the two policemen killed in Enga during the elections, frustration is growing.
There is no way we are trespassing the highway. We have the rights to use that highway.
This afternoon, the president of the Land Transport Association, Jacob Luke, said tomorrow's action is not meant as an act of defiance or a protest. It is simply an exercising of their legal right to use the national highway.
The registrations that we pay, the insurance that we pay, gives us the rights to use it. We are a compliant business organization in the country. So us taking that road tomorrow is not going to be in violation with anything. It is not a protest. It is not.
While the government has stated that the roadblock will be lifted, the association feels that there's been little action on behalf of authorities. The Lae Chamber of Commerce also shares those sentiments.
Without fuel, you won't have any vehicles on the road there. You won't have you'll have people walking around, but more so you'll have very agitated people.
The association won't put a figure on the losses incurred by the companies, but Jacob Luke says the figure is in the millions. Trisa Transport says if the blockade continues, they could start laying off people.
We can't afford to keep paying wages if we're not turning wheels and making money. So the impacts are for everybody. So
Scott Waide, National EMTV News, Lae.
People's Microbank has embarked on an innovative product to provide insurance to its customers. PMB today launched its BEL-EC product through a partnership with Trans-Pacific Insurance Limited. According to PMB CEO Anthony De La Cruz, this product is an initiative to assist customers deal with the financial burden when death occurs. For most Papua New Guineans, the cost of death is expensive. Given the high costs associated with the various processes of death, families often have to rely on one-talks to contribute towards funeral expenses, which can take a lot of time. Recognizing this need, People's Microbank has taken the initiative to develop a product aimed at assisting Papua New Guineans when death occurs.
Not most people have access to insurance cover. And getting access to insurance cover is quite expensive. It's quite costly, especially to low-income population.
PMBL, in partnership with Trans-Pacific Assurance Limited, have developed BEL-EC Accidental Death Insurance Protection, a unique financial protection product. Similar to other life insurance products, BEL-EC is available upon payment of a premium, but the difference is in the low premiums being charged, with premiums from as low as 20 kina annually.
For every 20 kina premium, you can get a cash benefit, BEL call money, of 2,500.
So it's not a daily or a monthly cost, it's an annual cost of 20 kina. And for that you can get a benefit of 2,500 in the case of accidental death, or up to 400 kina a year for 50,000 kinas worth of cover.
Being a microfinance institution, PMBL is wary of the difficulties faced by its customers and has made the application process easier.
After paying the, say, 20 kina premium for 12 months, that is a fixed one-off payment of 20 kina, which will be valid for 1 year, we will issue the insured person with a certificate of currency to certify that a cover has been obtained under this product with we call BEL-EC Accident Insurance Protection.
This product is being underwritten by Trans-Pacific Assurance Limited, a fairly new homegrown insurance provider, who are excited at this opportunity to provide their service to PMBL customers.
And by this innovative product that we've introduced in partnership with the People's Microbank, we believe that we are on the threshold of innovation in Papua New Guinea.
Bill EC Accidental Death Insurance Protection is now available at all People Microbank branches nationwide. According to Mr. De La Cruz, PMBL sees this new offering as one way of adding more value to the services that are currently on offer.
We expect a huge number of customers who will take this protection in the next 12 months. Our goal is to make this protection easily available to at least 100,000 bank customers in the next 12 months.
Plenty more National MTV News when we come back. Telecom donates to YWAM, and Rabaul set to host Frangipani Festival, as well as the Koki Transport Home now open for business. Stay tuned. Welcome back to National MTV News. The Telecom Foundation has donated close to 2,000 kina in mobile and data items to the Youth with a Mission, YWAM, for their new education training center in Alotau, Milne Bay Province. YWAM were the proud recipients of the gifts after close consultation and discussions with Telecom Foundation and YWAM management. Telecom Foundation coordinator Yolanda Bafmatuk presented the items, which included telecom SIM cards, prepaid cards, smartphones and an internet data router. YWAM staff Jenna Waymire and Melissa Kauk received the items, saying they would help immensely with students attending the YWAM Learning Center using these gadgets to access education materials online through the internet. The volcanic town of Rabaul is gearing up for at least 4 days of festivities beginning next Saturday. Independence Week, which starts next week, remains an eventful week in East New Britain's provincial calendar. This year, the province will come together for a joint celebration to observe PNG's 42nd independence anniversary and the 23rd anniversary of the 1994 twin volcanic eruptions.
The 4 days of festivity that will begin next Saturday will bring together the East New Britain people to the Frangipani Festival to commemorate two big events in the province. First, the PNG's 42nd independence celebration on the 16th, followed by the 23rd anniversary celebrations of the Wulwul and Vulcan eruptions on the 19th. The festival will include the Kinavai dances, canoe race and vehicle float around Rabaul town. The festival is a community event and has over the years been made a success through community participation. While the events will be celebrated both in Kokopo and Rabaul, the celebrations in Rabaul town are expected to be the biggest, and Rabaul district is already gearing up to play host to these events as a stark reminder of what happened 23 years ago.
And we want people to remember their history and remember what happened so that you can learn from your history. And the Frangipani Festival is all about that.
On the 19th of September 1994, as the country was coming to the end of the 19th independence anniversary, the Wulwul and Vulcan volcanoes erupted and devastated Rabaul town.
In September, on Independence Day this year, the 19th of the 9th, 2017 will be the 23rd year since 1994. And the Frangipani Festival is getting stronger and stronger.
While the East New Britain people know all too well that the town won't be revived easily, the celebrations will only mark the two events that happened coincidentally on the Independence Week in 1994, and most importantly, to celebrate the existence of Rabaul town as it continues to triumph over the volcanic adversities. Edwin Fidelis, National MTV News, Kokopo.
6 new containerized generators purchased from China by PNG Power have arrived in the country at the Lei Wharf. PNG Power CEO Alex Oa says the 6 new generators will be shipped to Wewak, Wabeg, Buka, Arawa, Kimbe and Kokopo. The shipments follow after another purchase of 6 open generators also bought from China that have been installed in Vanimo, Popondetta, Manus, Kavieng, Alotau and Wewak. The generators will replace aging units and leased generators. The manager for Finchafen Technical College in Morbe Province, Navis Kongus, said the school cannot meet the national standards set by the TVET division due to insufficient facilities. Congress said the national government should be responsible for the college infrastructure because the school is part of the government's program. He said the TFF funds from the government are not enough to support the school.
This is Finchafen Technical College in Morobe. These buildings were built using the DSIP funds from the district. The school has a boarding facility with more than 400 students attending. It is difficult for the college to meet the national standard set by the TVET division of the Department of Education due to insufficient tuition fee-free funds from the government.
The TFF that we get is not enough to build the facilities up to the standard.
TVET is a priority of the Education Department and the national government. According to the TVET Strategic Management Plan by the Department of Education, the TVET system is divided between the national and provincial administrative functions and responsibilities as agreed in the organic law. But Congo says the college's current status of the physical infrastructure and training facilities, including tools and equipment, are inadequate.
It's the national government program that they should meet the cost of building the infrastructure up to the national standard that it's already in place.
The skills manpower issues affecting PNG can only be addressed through TVET program where the bulk of the workforce comes from. There is a need to develop TVET institutions that will play an important role for the economic growth of the country.
This is only school accommodating TYCSC students and Kabum students, and as well as the local Finchafen students. But we haven't received any support from the TYCSC MP and Kabum. So if they can support the Finchafen MP, probably we can build the infrastructure up to the standard.
Julie Badui Owa, National MTV News, Ley.
The Boana Technical Secondary School in Nawai that was built in 2010 is not yet operating. The buildings are half completed with less attention from the provincial government. Students find it very difficult to look for spaces in schools in Ley because of the current road conditions. The Nawai MP said he would make it a priority to have these areas fixed. Again, Julie Badui Owa with this report.
This is Boana Technical Secondary School, built in 2010. Construction has come to a halt because the contractor has left. According to a local councillor, there are no proper record of the contractor engaged and how much DSIP funds was used to help build these classrooms. The Nawai MP says a proper investigation will be carried out on the contractor engaged and how money was spent.
Na bank statement by me close check. Pay me go sat. Let's number. Say draw to who. Na bank statement it oglo.
Boana is one of the rural areas in Morobe and has 6 primary schools. With the road conditions, parents and students find it very hard to travel to Ley. The head teacher of Peter Rai Primary School, located within this mountain, says the school is also in need of urgent assistance from the government.
Even kind of the box you could classroom there run down, everything around down. Even house blow teachers too, one can run down over there.
The current road condition of the district is of urgent need of help by the provincial government. This road allows vehicles to transport commodities such as the neck nasi coffee to Ley for exporting. This is one of the many government services in need of help. This is exactly what the driver of vehicles and passengers face as they travel from Boana to Ley every day. It normally takes a day and a half. By then, food produced such as these greens are already damaged before they reach Ley market.
Road blow me play me no same or some road with strong block ground. Me got to loose gravel ground. Na time the rain him big block bagaraps come up. You know lig bagarap.
Julie Badui Owa, National MTV News, Ley.
Vendors from Abau and Rigo districts who sell produce at Koke Market in Port Moresby will now access proper accommodation facilities. This follows the opening of the Koke Transit Market this morning by Australian High Commissioner Bruce Davies and Moresby South MP Justin Chachenko.
Here we go. A new version. Okay, hip hip.
The building consists of rooms and other facilities that can house vendors who travel in from remote areas of Rigo and Abau district. Mosby South MP Justin Chuchenko says the transit home is an effort to provide a safe haven for mothers, young girls and children.
But a place for people to sleep, rest, get up in the morning, go back to their villages and do their daily activities.
The facility is an understanding between PNG and Australian government and the United Nations to embrace a safer community for women.
It will house around 50 families at any one time coming in with their market products.
Particularly in the interest of women and girls, who are the most vulnerable when it comes to issues around safety and security, vulnerability, when they come to sell their produce in the market.
Majority of women who sell produce at Koki Market will now have the opportunity to access this facility. Many say this will help minimize intimidation and safety of women who sleep in the market with their produce. A management has been established through the office of the Mosby South MP to manage the facility. The new transit home is built inside the Koki Market area. Jack Lopava Jr., National EMTV News.
And now a look at the finance news. The kina closed unchanged at $0.3125 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.305, $0.3768 Australian dollars, €0.2521 and 32.95 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, coffee and copper closed higher, while cocoa closed the day lower. Palm oil closed higher, and crude oil and copper closed the day lower. And on the stock markets, the Dow Jones closed 54 points higher, the ASX closed 7 points lower, and the All Ordinaries closed 5 points lower. Here with National EMTV News, among stories after the break, joint security training in preparation for APEC 2018. Stay tuned. Welcome back to National EMTV News. Airport security, police personnel and other stakeholders in Lae have been trained to provide better security. The 4-day training that ended today equipped officers with the skills of risk assessment, bomb searches and aviation security. Jackson's International Airport Police Commander, Chief Sergeant Robert Wane, said it will help officers to deal with hazardous situations better. The training is in preparation for APEC 2018 and was funded by the Australian Federal Police.
More than 100 officers from the NAC, police and other stakeholders participated in this joint 4-day training. This is part of the security preparations towards the APEC meeting in 2018.
The purpose of this training is tailored and is in preparedness for APEC. And basically we are training people with regard to basic search, bomb search, aviation security and risk management.
After theory sessions, the officers were taken through a more practical approach. They conducted bomb, area, building and car searches.
That gives them, that knowledge in the event that we need to, have a place at the airport, the cars, the routes, the hotels that need to be searched. That, we have at least trained our officers on the ground.
Another focus area was the risk assessment. Officers were tasked to identify risks and hazards in different locations.
Mostly I'm implementing risk management, how to handle situation, come up them, managing, giving information or something. So planning something especially boy work security field.
More than 600 participants have already been trained through this course nationwide. It is being funded by the Australian Federal Police. Lae had 106 participants and was the largest batch to be trained in the country. The officers were presented with certificates after the course and were addressed by the Assistant Commissioner of Police, Peter Guinness.
Coming here and having this kind of training is an added advantage, or it adds value to the participation, and not only for the police officers but also to the security officials and airlines, both Air Niugini, Airlines PNG and NACC.
Lucy Kopana, National EMTV News, Lae.
In the last few years, you may have heard the buzzword Bitcoin and the term cryptocurrency. From the central bank governor to appreneurs, the business community in Papua New Guinea has been anticipating its entry into the country. But what exactly is it, and why is it being touted as the future of currency? Leanne Gerari with this report from the PNG Investment Conference in Sydney.
Bitcoin is a worldwide cryptocurrency and digital payment system called the first decentralized digital currency since the system works without a central repository or single administrator. Now, futurist Mark Pesci believes it is one of the many tools Papua New Guinea could use on its way to development. He said a digital money economy is on the horizon for PNG as the infrastructure is not expensive.
I think what we're going to start to see is we're going to move, mobile money is a great place to start, but the next place we're going to go is what we call digital money. So it's money that is issued by the central bank that lives on your smartphone. You can send it immediately to anyone else's smartphone, a business can send it to another smartphone, and so it then essentially what happens is that your smartphone is your bank, even though you probably still have a connection to an actual bank through your telco. And so what happens is now people start to have very rich capacity to bank and to move money around and to invest very easily through this. But the other thing it does is it makes it super easy to trade across the country very quickly and very easily. And so that will now promote a lot of trade across Papua New Guinea.
Not immune to fraud, having such a decentralized system may pose a greater risk than benefit. And according to the governor of the central bank, Loy Bakani, though there have been trials in the country, there is no Bitcoin technology in PNG as yet.
Received some rumors that there are some people saying something about Bitcoins being introduced. So I think my advice, not I think, but my definite advice, that's anything to do with Bitcoin being introduced or being available in Papua New Guinea can be considered a scam at this stage until and unless we come out and openly say, okay, it's available. At the moment, it's not available in Papua New Guinea, but some people are trialing it out, and it's not acceptable yet as part of a cryptocurrency in Papua New Guinea.
Leanne Gerari, National EMTV News, Sydney.
A two-day workshop has looked into drawing up a provincial action plan for the national food policy that will consolidate the national action plan. The Agriculture Department, in collaboration with the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, are facilitating a workshop.
The workshop was about the National Food Security Policy Action Planning process. Medang, Chimbu and Milian Bay were selected to pilot the planning on the Provincial Action Plan for the National Food Security Policy.
Provincial participants are partners and stakeholders that is in the provinces by the Provincial Agriculture Division, and we have a national technical consultant that's based here under FAO that works closely with the Provincial Agriculture Division to initiate and organize the meetings. And participants come from the provincial, the district agriculture, rural development officers, health, and other agriculture sector agencies such as CIC, National Agriculture Quarantine, KIK, and also we have Provincial Disaster Office or the Climate Change Office. And
the three provinces were selected because of their active involvement in food security activities in the province. There is already a national food security policy, but this workshop was to help Medang develop its own provincial action plan.
We have done a national action plan, and so we'd like to have a provincial action plan for the national food security policy and to consolidate to the national plan.
Malnutrition is also one of the factors in the country caused several food security issues facing many Papua New Guinean families.
Malnutrition is very high, and malnutrition is as a result of not taking the right nutritious food. And so the significance of this policy action plan in the province is also we would like to have a sort of multifaceted approach, and together with the nutrition and the WASH policy. WASH is a water and sanitation and health hygiene policy. So we'd like to work together to sort of target the one audience, which is the health of a person. So in that, we'd like to have this the workshop to bring, gain views and discussions and opinions from all stakeholders to
Mata Luis,
contribute
National
to this,
MTV News, Medang.
Here with National MTV News, Trukai Sports is next. We'll have some updates on basketball and rugby league. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. We begin with basketball, and tonight we feature Liam Wright, a member of the PNG men's team taking part in the FIBA Melanesian Basketball Cup at the end of this month. The 18-year-old from a mixed parentage of New Ireland and Australia represented PNG in the 2015 Pacific Games and is ready to take on the next challenge.
18-year-old Liam Wright, whose mother is from Kavieng, New Ireland province, and father from Australia, first played for Papua New Guinea in the 2015 Pacific Games in Port Moresby. The young point guard was then 16 years old and described the experience as an unforgettable one.
Extremely excited to play and have the crowd here, because I feel as though the Pacific Games was just a little taste of what PNG can be in all sports.
Wright donned the PNG colours alongside his older brother Lloyd, who was also making his debut for Papua New Guinea in the Pacific Games. However, the pair won't be seen together in this tournament, with Lloyd currently in the United States due to study commitments.
So I'm just in here every single day at about 9 o'clock and then leaving at like 6. So I've been using the gym over there, trying to get stronger and all that kind of stuff. Like Joel says, every player has to do what they have to do as an individual to make the team better, so I'm just trying to get better at every little aspect of my game.
But Gabriel is there.
For Liam, the young point guard puts on the hard yards in training every day. Liam currently plays in the Victoria basketball competition in Australia and is looking forward to compete against some of the best in the region.
I'm hoping they bring in a tough team, because I don't want to play anyone's second best. I want to play the best of each team, and I'm hoping they come with all they got and hopefully we can knock them off.
Shane Saroya, National MTV Sports.
With less than 20 days to the Melanesian Cup, PNG Basketball Federation CEO and men's national coach Joel Kalu is confident of PNG's performance. He said PNG has some raw talent that could surprise tournament favourites Fiji and New Caledonia.
We're pretty happy to to renew that rivalry with them and take them to the limit. They're obviously ranked a lot higher than us in the Pacific, but we feel we can compete with them. New Caledonia are also a very quality side. Depending on who they bring from their professional players that play in the French leagues, they could be very good. They were the 2011 Pacific Games gold medalists. They beat us in 2015 here by 3 points, I think, in the end. So, they're going to be a very quality side as well. So, the fun thing for basketball fans is that I think every game is going to be exciting and pretty close.
To Rugby League, PNG Rugby Football League hosted a breakfast with their sponsors and partners this morning. The aim of the breakfast was to update them of the Rugby League calendar and operations carried out over the past 5 months.
PNG RFL is coming to the business end of the season and have many activities planned, beginning with the PNG NRLC Grand Final this Saturday. The Agmak Rabaul Couriers will play the Lace Next Tigers at the Sejongkai Stadium. On Sunday, the Hunters host the Redcliffe Dolphins at the National Football Stadium for the major semi-final.
It's not going to be easy, but we want to win. And when we win, we go straight to the Interest Super Cup Grand Final on the 24th of September at the Suncorp Stadium. If the outcome doesn't come our way, we will still have the right to host.
Followed soon after will be the Prime Minister's 13th match, set to be played on the 23rd of September. For the first time since the inception of the PM's 13, we'll see the oil-sedge PNG Orchids take on the Australian Jillaroos.
The Prime Minister Stadium in PNG and Australia displays the relationship between the two countries, and rugby league as a platform being used to strengthen those relationships and send in strong messages about strong men respect women.
After the PM's 13, the Kumuls and the Orchids will be preparing for the Rugby League World Cup. The Kumuls go for the Tri-Series in Fiji.
On the 14th of October, they will be playing against the Fiji Baptists and the Australian Kangaroos in a format that's a bit new. It'll be 40 minutes playing against each other, and it's on the 14th of October. That'll be the only trial the PNG Atlantic Kumuls team have before the first game in end of October here in Port Moresby for the World Cup.
These are major tournaments that are going to be held over the next 2 months, and Rao says it is going to be exciting.
Apart from that, there are operational things that we do to keep the engine going for the PNG Rugby League.
Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
Still on Rugby League, the Fuzzy-Wuzzy Nines tournament is set to kick off next week at the National Football Stadium. The tournament is being held in conjunction with celebrations to mark the 75th anniversary of the Battle of Kokoda.
The competition will run for 5 days, with 28 teams taking part in the tournament. Teams representing Oro Province, Koyari and the Central Region have all joined.
Fuzzy-Wuzzy is not only for Oros and Koyaris, but it's for the whole entire southern region and of course Papua New Guinea. I wanted a balance in the draws.
Many teams from Port Moresby Rugby League have also joined.
They will be run as normal as how nines are run, 9 minutes each way until we complete. We roll the games until we complete all games. Due to the timing of the field factor, the games will be rolled.
The organizing committee was not able to include a women's competition due to their budget.
So we're only catering for the men. So next year, as David has mentioned, it's a program we're looking at a longer term, so we will allow the women's team to come in, and not only the women teams from Port Moresby, but outside as well.
The official opening ceremony will be held on Monday before the first match at 10:30 a.m.
The Fuzzy-Wuzzy, the man himself, and on Monday the opening ceremony. So basically the Fuzzy-Wuzzy himself will be flying the cup from 7 Mile and land it here, and then we'll proceed with our keynote speakers.
Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
Trukai Sports continues after these messages. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. The General Manager of Team NCD to the PNG Games says it is now a challenge to pull together players, coaches and team managers for the various sports. He said transport and accommodation arrangements have already been finalized. However, our team manager and coaches need to start preparing their players for the PNG Games, due to be held at the end of November.
It will be a difficult task to gather athletes together again after the Games were deferred twice due to the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup and the national general elections. General Manager Kiladik is now calling on team managers and coaches for NCD teams to regroup and prepare their teams for the Games scheduled for November 18th to December 2nd this year.
Firstly, 2 things. One was that we were happy that the Games were deferred, but it's a pity that the Games were deferred twice, and it's really hard to try and bring back the players' mindsets. A lot of athletes have now gone out of their way to take part in their local competitions or representing the country in some of those international features. So it's been really difficult to try and mobilize all the athletes again, but we're doing our best to make sure that through our management teams, the managers and coaches to ensure that our athletes are back on track for their preparations for the PNG Games.
For the sporting codes that require coaches and team managers, an expression of interest is now open. Interested individuals are asked to contact the NCDC Sports Desk.
I'm calling all the managers to come forward and for them to show their expression of interest again. We've been calling for meetings, but some team managers are not enough. So this week is very critical for all the managers or coaches. If you have not attended some of our meetings that we have called for, then please do so, because this week is a very important week. I'll be making some additions next week for those managers and for those coaches who have not turned up for our meetings.
NCD is hoping to send 500 plus athletes to represent all sporting codes at the PNG Games.
So in terms of our preparations, we are on target for payment of various requirements like airfares. We've made some down payment of over 500,000. We've also made some down payment of accommodation and stuff like that. So our team NCD, in terms of our logistical requirements, we are on target.
Godwin Eki, National, EMTV Sports.
To the NRL now, and after 26 rounds, we are now in the finals. The top 8 who will battle are none other than the Melbourne Storms, the Sydney City Roosters, Brisbane Broncos, Parramatta Eels, Cronulla Sharks, Manly Sea Eagles, the mighty Penrith Panthers and the North Queensland Cowboys.
Sydney Roosters will face the Brisbane Broncos tomorrow in the opener match of the finals qualifiers. The winner of this match will have a much-needed week's rest, while the loser will have a second go in week 2 of the finals. Though for the Bronx, being the second most powerful team of the season does not keep them safe from the Roosters now that they have reshuffled key positions. Due to a hamstring injury, skipper Darius Boyd has been replaced at fullback by Cody Nikorima, whose place in the halves is set to be filled by veteran Benji Marshall. And Saturday's match is expected to be heated as the Parramatta Eels take on competition leader Melbourne Storms. With Semi Radradra doing wonders for the Eels in the last 3 rounds, Michael Jennings and Corey Norman's touch only gives them added heat in their attacks. But the Storms have maintained a stranglehold on the top spot throughout the season, and they will not lose easily in this match. And Penrith Panthers will take on Manly Sea Eagles, while Sunday's match will see defending premiers Cronulla Sharks battle with 2015 premiers the North Queensland Cowboys. Dinero Raiko, National, EMTV Sports.
And that ends Trukai Sports. Up next, a quick look at the weather for Friday. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
A look at the weather for the next 24 hours, and in the southern region, sunny and windy for Daru, cloudy and windy weather expected in Port Moresby and Alatau, cloudy weather and showers for Kerma and Popondetta. To the Momasa region, rain and showers for Leh and Wau, fine becoming cloudy for Medang and Wiebeek, cloudy with some showers for Vanimo. To the New Guinea Islands region, fine becoming cloudy for Lorengau, Kavieng, Kimbe and Buka, cloudy weather with some showers for Kokopo and Rabaul. And in the Highlands region, cloudy periods in Mount Hagen, rain and showers expected in Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg on Friday.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
And that is the news, sports and weather for today, Thursday the 7th of September 2017. On behalf of the EMTV News team, pleasant viewing. Good night.